time for more phrases. Rona, definition. Well, I don't think I need the definition of time or more.
A group of words
Keep going.
that don't form a complete sentence
Keep going.
without a subject or verb.
That's correct. One more piece of information. You're doing such an excellent job. Can anybody complete the definition for her? Group of words that do not form a complete thought or complete sentence. One more piece. True, but that's what it means, not forming a complete sentence. Missing one of those parts. Not necessarily. Could be modifying. You're getting closer to it, Emily. Come on. There's no restriction on opening your notes and taking a look at a definition of phrase, nor in looking in the Warreners. Rona did a really good job of starting you off, but you need the completion of that definition. Yeah, Sydney. Right, we already have that part. We've had that part 3 times now. I'm looking for the next part of the definition. Form a single part of speech. So, Emily, you were only partially correct because they could be an adverb, could be an adjective. They could also be a noun in the case of gerunds. So they must form a single part of speech. Definition of a phrase. The activity that you have in front of you asked you to look at a number of phrases, and today we are talking about a simple one, the appositive phrase. And hopefully you've taken a look at the definition of it, but let's review. So, I'm going to give you 4 qualities of the definition of an appositive phrase. They're fairly simple, though. It's not quite as complicated as you might think. First of all, it is a noun or a noun phrase. So remember, identification of these phrases is easy if you know what they look like. Richa, what are you looking for when you look for a gerund?
ING.
Very good. Nora, what are you looking for when you look for an infinitive? Ian, you're looking for a participial. What are you looking for? Or? Correct. In an appositive phrase, you're looking for a noun or noun phrase. It directly follows another noun or noun phrase. So you know something about the syntax. Placed right next to it. It renames, some might say describes, the noun phrase it follows. And in that, it acts a bit like an adjective. Of course, the abstract definition is all well and good, works best with examples. So if I say, Gretchen Stevens opened her notebook, can somebody give me an appositive to insert in there? Omar. Gretchen Stevens, a student, opened her notebook. Perfect. Gretchen Stevens is one noun phrase, first and last name. A student is the second noun phrase. Notice Omar placed them back to back. He didn't say Gretchen Stevens opened her notebook, a student. Of course, that syntactically doesn't make any sense. Gretchen Stevens, a student, opened her notebook. That's an appositive.
So when you're saying, like, if you said a student, Gretchen Stevens, does that still count as a positive?
Take a look on page 50. Look at the appositives on page 50. Kristen, the Warreners, and I think I understand what they're going for here, as an example right above the review exercise. Could you read that sentence example for me, please?
The beautiful collie.
Yes.
A beautiful collie, Skip, was my favorite dog.
Skip seems to be the subject of that sentence, right? Okay. So Skip and a beautiful collie are both nouns or noun phrases. They follow one upon each other. However, the Warreners is saying that Skip is the noun and a beautiful collie is the appositive. So they could actually flip placement. However, traditionally, this is where you'd find it. Okay? So Gretchen Stevens, a student. You could say a student, comma, Gretchen Stevens opened her notebook. It wouldn't make quite as, I don't like the flow of that one. But Warreners allows for it. What's my punctuation rule? Oh, wait a minute, did I? Oh, I messed up the flow of my presentation. Blink. Enclose the appositive phrase in commas, unless it is very short. So, Gretchen Stevens, comma, a student, comma, opened her notebook. It's fine. So what is very short then? Bob the builder. It's not Bob, comma, the builder. It's too short for that. Bob the builder works just fine.
So, like, when you embed however in a sentence,
Yes?
what's the appositive?
No, because it's a transitional adverb, and appositives have to be nouns. And actually, Risha, you're not the first person to ask sort of synthetic comma questions. Somebody did in second period. So that means that you guys are getting primed for comma rules. We're going to get close to it. So here's one comma rule. Positives are enclosed in parentheses. What, or not parentheses, sorry, commas. I made that Freudian slip because commas are kind of like parentheses. You see something in parentheses in a sentence, what does it say to you? What do you know about the information in the parentheses? It can be taken out. It's unnecessary and irrelevant. If I say Gretchen Stevens opened the notebook, and I say Gretchen Stevens, a student, opened the notebook, is one of those sentences broken and the other not? Do they both work? Therefore, a student must be unnecessary extra information. Enclose it in commas. It's kind of like the parentheses. I don't need a student in order for that sentence to work. Yes?
So why would you use like a positive?
To clarify, if you said Mr. Clarkson taught the class, it would be more appropriate to say Mr. Clarkson, my favorite teacher ever in the universe, taught the class. Okay, there you go. What? Yeah, okay. Is that spelled correctly? Is it M-I? What? I'd go some places, but I'm not going Nazi on this. Although you had some apocalyptic thing. What'd you have? There you go. That's good. I like that. More? That's it? Connor ends it. End of story. We can say nothing more. She is the fourth horseman of the apocalypse. No more positives you can give me? Rock star. Okay, now you've gone a little too short. Qualify rock star. What type of rock?
Disney Channel.
Disney Channel rock star. There you go. Ooh, I like that. Hold on a second. Let me finish writing this. You sure it's future? Okay. What was it? Oh, teen pop idol? Is that what somebody said? Yeah. Teen pop idol or teen pop icon? I like all of these. All of these. That's classic. I'm glad I'm recording this. All right, so that one, all of these are excellent ways of renaming Hannah Montana. And they're all phrase structures. Fourth horseman of the apocalypse, this is a noun phrase, horseman with fourth modifying it, and then what is of the apocalypse? Prepositional linked to horseman, so it's all one intact unit, all renaming Hannah Montana. So if I said, late at night, prepped for battle, I encountered Miley Cyrus, comma, fourth horseman of the apocalypse. I encountered Miley Cyrus, fourth horseman of the apocalypse. Or Hannah Montana, fourth horseman of the apocalypse. What is Hannah Montana in that sentence? I encountered Hannah Montana. Direct object. Thank you very much. Does not matter where the noun falls. It can be followed by an appositive. So if a noun is the object of a prepositional phrase, you can insert an appositive. If it's the subject, you can insert an appositive. Indirect object, you can insert an appositive. You can insert appositives anywhere nouns fall in a sentence. Where'd you start? 9? Yeah. All right, then let's take a look at the entire sentence. Let's run through this quickly. Obviously, many of these phrases are not our appositives, but we will see one raise its ugly head. Scientists are experimenting with 2 methods. It wasn't on your sheet, but can somebody give me 2 methods? With 2 methods. What's the phrase? Prepositional phrase. Sonia, modifying what? Very, very good. Making it what? Perfect. Thank you, Sonia. It's an adverb modifying experimenting. The well-known distillation process and the freeze separation process. Kazune. It is an appositive. Excellent. What noun is it renaming or what noun is it describing? Methods. Very good. I see two methods, and in an appositive phrase, obeying the punctuation rule, I've renamed or explained or somehow clarified those methods with noun phrases. Now on to your assignment, which separates fresh water by freezing it into removable crystals. Colin. Very good. Modifying which word? That's correct. Qualifying freezing. Excellent. Using 1 billion gallons a day, a city of 4 million people spends, under present circumstances, 20 cents a thousand gallons, but converted water produced by existing methods costs 5 times as much. It is a long sentence, a little bit wordy. Ashley, give me a shot on number 10 there. It is not a gerund, although you had a 50-50 shot on that, right? It's either a gerund or what else? I'm sorry? Yeah, which type? Gretchen, help her out. It's either a participial or a gerund. It's a participial. Ashley, do you remember what participles do? What part of speech do they act as? Nope. Adjective. Who is using 1 billion gallons a day, Ashley? Correct. And if you want some ease, here's your punctuation rule. Anybody know how I can identify that really quickly without even reading this all that much? It's a punctuation hint. Where's that comma, Michael, and what's it telling me? For using 1 billion gallons a day. And before. And what is a city in the sentence? The subject, yeah. See, Ashley, since that phrase is separated from another noun phrase by a comma, it tells me it's not a gerund. What would a gerund be probably connected to? If a gerund is a noun at the beginning of a sentence, what is a noun usually connected to right at the beginning of a sentence? Very good. It's not connected to a verb. So that's how I would take a look at that really quickly, and being experienced and looking for that, say that's a participial. Does that make sense? Cool. A city of 4 million people spends, let's see, Michael, 4 million people.
Prepositional phrase.
Modifying? Correct. Therefore, acting as adjective or adverb?
Adjective.
Very good. Ron, under present circumstances.
It's a prepositional.
Prepositional phrase, modifying?
City, right? Or no?
Not quite. Give it another shot. Sorry?
People?
No, the people aren't under present circumstances. The city isn't under present I could see a case made for city under present circumstances, but which one do you think? I could see a case for city. Which one am I going for, Gretchen? Nope. Sydney? Spends. When they're spending it under present circumstances. Yeah, it would be an adverb, therefore. Adverb modifying spends. Yeah, Michael.
I was sort of confused with number 9.
Number 9.
The adverb phrase into removable crystals.
Yes?
Wouldn't that modify separate?
Could be both.
Okay.
I would accept either of them, and both of them are verbs, which means it's still an adverb, so the answer is still the same. But what are you doing? Are you freezing it into removable crystals, or are you separating it into removable crystals? I could see either one. Sense?
Yeah.
And that's the point. Remember, we've seen a couple times where you'd have to go to writer's intent, and you'd have to ask the writer on that, because it could mean both. It's still pretty clear what's happening in the sentence, but I understand. Good identification. Produced by existing methods. Who wants to give it a shot? Kristen?
Is it a participial?
It is a participial phrase. Modifying what?
Water?
Correct. Which water? The water produced by existing methods. When we look at participles and look for them, what do you often look for if you're looking for a participial? ing. We sometimes forget that participles are also past tense verbs, past participles, EDs, or sometimes irregulars. So keep that in mind as well. Faced by this economic problem, scientists are exploring the possibilities of a large nuclear reactor, a possible source of cheap heat. Ian, start us off.
Participial.
Participial modifying what?
Scientist.
Ashley, do you see it again? Do you see that? And then just stopped by that? So there you go. Possibilities of a large nuclear reactor. John, give it a shot. Of a large nuclear reactor. Good. Modifying what? Very good. And remember the syntax. Prepositional phrases that modify nouns usually follow the nouns they modify. Excellent. A possible source of cheap heat. Omar. Modifying. That's right. Or renaming, I could say. Correct. And there we have the appositive. So I think it's about time that we learn how to diagram the appositive. Since we've seen a couple of them in sentences, you have a definition. You know how we do this. I'm about to show you a sentence. Ask somebody to volunteer to diagram it. When I do that, I'll ask that person to try to do it by looking in the Warners. So check out the Warners. Try to find the page on which an appositive would be diagrammed. We'll try this sentence. I will orient, and then I'd love to have a volunteer for diagramming this.